Hello there, guys, and welcome to Behind the Bunker. It is episode 493 here, podcast 373. My name is Todd Ansich. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It is our weekly paintball show that gets turned into a podcast. So if you guys aren't able to sit through the whole thing, go ahead and download it anywhere that you get your favorite podcasts from. We're going to be talking about all kinds of great things in the world of paintball, including the topic tonight is what is the worst thing that's ever happened to you at a paintball field. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to introduce you to a great bunch of guys. We've got Gavin Charmer from TerraTech Industries.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday night. And it is Behind the Bunker, 8:05 p.m. Make sure you hit those likes and share. And make sure you comment tonight because we are watching you in the chat forums. Not only on the Facebooks, but on the YouTubes. So thank you so much for joining us. And make sure you share the love of the show to the world.
We are the world. And then we have Josh Zuby Zabrickus.
I don't sing anymore at all.
Actually, I thought that was pretty good.
No, definitely wasn't. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to all 74 of you who shared the show last week. We very much appreciate that. To the other, 3,000 people that watched, we'll wait for the share. We'll just try it now. But yeah, thanks for tuning in.
There we go. And Joe Kimson, Flaggers Paintball.
Greetings and thanks to everyone for tuning in tonight. We know it's everyone's garbage night and formerly Hawaii 5-0. I guess Bull is on later so people can watch that when they're finished here. But thanks for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to hashtag like and share this show. And we have your usual, not your usual banter, but we have some good banter tonight on Behind the Bunker. See you soon. Pew pew.
Yeah, lots to get to tonight, guys. And also want to thank all of our sponsors before we go any further. GI Sports, Planet Eclipse, Ruthless, Enola Gay, Air Ups, and Exalt, as well as DLX and Flag Raiders. Guys, if it wasn't for those guys, you wouldn't be here, and we're going to be talking more about them as the night goes on. But something I want to tell you guys about, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I quickly breezed over it when I first spoke today. This is episode 493.
Ooh.
That means in just a few weeks, guys, we're going to be celebrating our 500th episode. 500th episode of this nonsense we call a paintball show. And I want to thank you, all of you guys who have been watching and supporting the show, sharing the show, liking it, sharing it to all your Facebook groups. If it wasn't for you guys, we may not make 500, and I do appreciate you guys here every week. And as Gavin said, we are watching you guys in YouTube and on our live Facebook feed. So if you guys want to get a shout out, put it up there, and we'll try to read your comments, especially when we talk about the topic tonight, which is this: what worst thing that happened to you at a paintball field? And let's be honest, more of you guys have more than one story. I guarantee it. A couple weeks ago, we talked about this, the Jeremy Somm sniper incident. If you guys don't know anything about it, head on over to paintball.media and get yourselves signed up to watch that. Fantastic. And then coming in April, you guys will be able to see the Tim Montrester documentary as well when that lands. And I know it's not 500, but Gavin, you posted this on your Facebook page this week.
I sure did. That popped up in my memory, and what a wonderful memory it was. The 100th show. And that was, was it 7 years ago?
No,
I can't recall.
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Yeah,
8
sorry.
years ago.
2013. Yeah, 7 years ago.
That's
no,
crazy.
8 years ago. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're 2021. And look at
When did we
this.
start this?
You can tune in and you could see there's Jack Wan, and then myself and Joe, then Josh with his baby face, Gavin with his little, what do you call that?
The Flavor Saver.
The Flavor Saver.
Yep.
Matt with a fledgling beard there, and Chris Christopherson, our first intern. Very nice. That seems like just a couple years ago. Wow.
That's true. That's crazy.
Wow.
That is crazy. So, like, almost 500 shows. We're still here. CRTC hasn't kicked us off.
Not yet.
We haven't been assassinated. And, well, I'm still enjoying it somewhat. So, I appreciate all the love and support over the course of the years. It was a wonderful memory for me, for us during lockdown at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been kicking it strong in 450 something shows, and we're close to the 500 mark. It's yeah, it's pretty damn fantastic.
But then we've had some monumental things in the meantime, and we'll get to this on the 500th episode. But like, we've done all our live shows at Paintball Extravaganza. We're the only one to do that. We've done live shows from World Cup. We've done from the scenario games at Flaggers. We've done a couple of live events. We've done a lot of things. Behind the Bunker's come a long way. We went to PAX, one of the world's largest video game conferences, to sell the
In San
paintball.
Antonio.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So,
Gavin, are you ready? Oh.
But I do remember all those sort of monumental, pivotal points in paintball's growth, right? That we were very much a part of the paintball history, the paintball story, and so
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here each and every week, and I say it, and I'm absolutely sincere. I'm grateful for every one of you who watches the show and shares and contributes in the chat, because not only are you viewers, but you become part of the family, and we look forward to seeing you each and every week. So, you can pan off me before I start tearing up. But it's it's a wonderful thing to do and a privilege to be able to be here each and every Monday night to deliver some paintball content and a whole lot of arguing and sometimes some drinking as well. A feuding and a fussing.
Fussing and a feuding. So again, thanks to all of you guys that are watching. We're the only ones that are not shouting out team tags in the live chat. So thank you. Nice to see team tags in the live chat. Patches, guys. I sent out almost everything I have. I got a couple left. If you guys want a patch, send me a DM. We are selling them for $10 plus shipping, which is pretty reasonable because we can just send them post. This one here, Oliver Powell received and sent me a picture. Nice to see that he got his so quickly. Also, watch on Thursday, guys. We are releasing highlights from the show. Hopefully this week we can produce a highlight. But we do that every week so that you guys can catch up on a bit of it. And hopefully we can tempt you to download our podcast and listen to us there. Couple weeks from now, guys, March 26th to 28th, head on over to play the Jurassic at Battlefield Orlando. And if you're going to sign up for a team, sign up for the Yellow Squad. That's where our Command Bro friends are going to be playing, so make sure you sign up for them. Jurassic, here you go. Here's the same poster, just a little different twist. Make sure you guys head on over there. As you can see, it's a Behind the Bunker sanctioned game.
I like purple.
I like turtles. Save the date. 2021 Mission Masters. There's their set of games. You definitely want to check those out. World at War Crimson Dawn, brought to you by Joe Kimson. Although he won't be there, he's going to zoom in.
It's that French like la, la, la.
April 9th to 11th. B-Rad Page, make sure you sign up for him at LaPorte, Indiana for Super Game Indiana. That happens on June 25th to 27th. And Lake Norman Paintball. A little bit of airsoft and axe throwing. Come check out their big scenario game that happens on Valentine's weekend.
And where are they located?
It's Necklick. I'm not sure where they're
located. I was going to say Backlick. But...
Backlick.
Soft touch.
Cowlick, Indiana.
Cowlick, Indiana.
Alien versus Predators, April 24th to 25th. Make sure you guys check out. That's at Black Ops Paintball. And that's all I got for upcoming games. If you guys would like your game advertised on the show, all you got to do is put our logo on your poster, send it in to us, and we will flog it until you guys are packed. So send those posters in. Dan Black says March 5th to 7th, Bones and Ashes. Where is that, Dan Black? If you can post it up. He's in the YouTube chat. I saw this on Toronto PB Exchange. If you guys are interested in heading on over there and buying this, what do you guys think about this? Fresh out of the vault, the ad says. Pics don't do it any justice. OG, brand new lens, no damage or issues. Foam is perfect. How much do you think something like this is being asked for?
$400.
Gavin,
what do you think?
I
think Joe's in the right ballpark?
Yes, I'm new to the appraisal of the ProFlex, and I'm going to say at least $500 for this one.
Okay. Josh, you...
This is if it's in Toronto, this is Canadian prices, though, right?
Oh,
Yep.
Canadian prices. Okay. So I'm going to go down a little bit because it's... No, go up a little bit. So I'm going to say $600 then. Just a bit. 6.
This is why you got canned at your currency exchange job. Josh, what are you thinking?
Night was the worst.
Josh, what are you thinking? How much would you pay for that?
How much I pay for it, or how much I think somebody paid for it?
How much it's selling for really should be the question. Dominic Norden says $625. Bab Spisser is actually back tonight. Says $125.
He didn't change his name. He should leave.
Oh, the Spiss. The Spiss is here.
Angry Canadian Gamer says $200. Bobby Dow says $250. Beardy McBeardington on YouTube says $500. Best name ever.
I think it's Dustin.
I wanted to see if that was Matt logged in to YouTube, but it's not. Yeah, what do you got? Okay, so I'll tell you what he's asking. He says foam is perfect. He says $425 or 525 Canadian shipped from Alberta. No trades.
Well, I'm glad he didn't let me answer because I was going to say a lot higher.
I did. Oh shit.
No, you did
Oh
not.
damn it! Now I'm gonna have to hear about it for the rest of the night. I'm sorry, Josh.
What's your excuse now? Because I'm not sitting beside you in the studio, so you can't see me out of the corner of your eye. I know I'm wearing camouflage, but come on.
I think it's because I couldn't see you behind the mug.
I like your tiger stripe, but
It is a little small, isn't it?
I had to wear something else. I was going to wear my tiger stripe behind the bunker hoodie tonight, but I wore this one instead. My sort of a black multicam, if you will.
What do you call black camo? I was just gonna ask. Would you call that like urban camo?
Call it urban
No,
or night.
That's multicam black.
Is it multicam? I guess it's pretty close. This is pretty damn close to multicam black. So.
All right, so Dominic Norden in the chat says the ProFlex buyers are crazy. So I've got a couple of things I'm going to get appraised shortly to see what I can flip.
So I'm not going to give them away, but there's a couple guys that have been messaging me relentlessly, and I am going to help them out. But they keep asking if I have anything that's JT that I have in storage that I'm willing to sell. And to be honest with you, I do, but I'm not going to storage. It's snowed in right now, and I'm not able to get at it. But as soon as spring hits, I'll break it out. But there's a lot. Like if you've got anything JT, now is the time to make some money on it.
I have a brand new pair of neon yellow Crossfires, so they fit the Elite goggle. They don't fit the Spectra, but the Spectra guys don't want it. But that, man, is a piece of paintball history.
Yeah.
So that and a few, I've managed to sell a few Spectras off.
There we go. All right, guys, so we're going to do a couple things tonight. We've got mail time coming up in just a second. Then we were going to talk to you guys about the topic at hand tonight, which is what is the worst thing that has happened to you at a paintball field? And let's be honest, we all have a story, I'm sure. We also have a new segment or new fresh vault from Joe and more to come. So why don't we get right into some mail time, Gavin?
Mail time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mail Time, my time to shine, where I get to rip open my sack and read some of the correspondence that you folks have sent in. And I just want to let you know that the mailman continues to deliver, so if you have any questions, please post up in the chat, and if we catch it, we'll certainly read it on the show. So
is there any questions from Ryan McGee? Can we read Ryan McGee's first?
No, but hang on. Before we go on, I've never heard Gavin say the mailman like in an innuendo type way, but I couldn't help but take that as a ding. So can we just give Gavin a little ding for that one?
There we go.
Here we go.
Oh, you've been creeping in my window. It's my little ding. All right, so the first question comes to us from Ryan McGee because it was requested from Todd in his show.
I didn't even know you had one. I just took it. Yeah.
It's your show, Todd. All right, and I'm going to get everybody else to mute because this goes directly to our friend Josh Zubrickus.
Uh-oh.
The question is for Monsieur of Magfed, Mr. Zubrickus. Do you recommend a chest rig, plate carrier, or battle belt for the average Magfed player? And what do you think the advantages and drawbacks are of each? So I know it was addressed to you, but I think we can all chime in. So what do you use for Magfed? What are the pros and cons of each of the platforms?
That was a loaded question. Holy smokes. I have both a chest rig and a quick release plate carrier that I wear. Chest rig, obviously, for the days that are pretty darn hot. Other than that, plate carrier holds a hydro pouch and all that. I don't go in for the battle belt stuff. I don't like that. It gets in the way of crouching down and running, if you ask me. So I steer away from those. But for the most part, it's a quick release plate carrier.
Joe?
I have a chest rig that I wear when I play MagFed, and I don't use a remote line, so I put my tank right directly on my gun. So I have a chest rig that carries 5 mag pouches. So I have 4 pouches full of mags, and then I have a pouch that has a 100-round tube in it with 100-round tube with balls in it, so I can load up my mags in between games. And then I have a plate carrier that I wear for a big game if I want to wear a remote line or it's not too hot. And I got that plate carrier from IKEA. Get it?
No.
A cabinet?
Yes, that's the plate carrier.
For me, I use a Eagle tactical vest, some of the old school stuff, and that works fantastic. If you can find it, Eagle Industries, fan-frickin-tastic carrying system. So the pros, it fits my body quite well. I don't have to worry about things jiggling around. I'm sorry?
It's dreamy on you.
It's dreamy on me. But I am intrigued about the bandolier system, right? So not so much the belt, because I'm a skinny guy, so it's kind of hard to find a fit. If I had a belt system, it would be 2 mags, which would not last me the full day. But yeah, but the bandolier system in terms of it's on your chest, it's like a chest rig, but it's not fully restrictive. And there's more room to breathe and for movement and mobility. So that's what I'm going to look into. If anybody has an experience with that, please post up in the chat, because I'd love to hear about that. But it's an intriguing system that I would like to experiment with.
Hedgehog does the bandolier system, doesn't he?
Yeah, a number of people like. So Hedgehog, I don't think does, but no, he does. You're right. And Alabaster Slim, our good friend as well. Does very similar.
I think he's just copying Hedgehog.
Could be. I'm going to ask you, Todd, but I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
Have much experience with that.
I've only played Meg a couple of times, but I'll be honest with you. I've only played it a couple of times, so I do not own a vest to play in. I've used my speedball pouch, and you're going to all shudder and give me the gears. But on the same token, I was able to still play. So if you guys are wanting to try it, it does work. You can cram a couple of mags into each pod pouch holder where your tubes would normally go. Put 1 or 2 in there, and it might be lame. It may not look cool, but at least you could still get out there and play it. And if it's something that you like, then maybe adopt a vest or something a little more, a little more mag-fetty. But just because you don't own the equipment doesn't mean you can't play it anyways.
And Bob Spisser, says he has a different setup for basically each gun. And Ryan McGee, who asked the question, was like, "Oh, I have an answer to that. Why'd you even put it in, damn it?" The answer. Stop asking questions. But yes, he found some limitations with the bandolier system. But yeah,
I think one of these days, Ryan McGee's going to be minding his own business, walking down the road and thinking to himself, I'm going to take this alley as a shortcut. And then he's going to see Gavin. He's going to have a billy stick in his hand. Well, Ryan McGee, we finally meet.
Good old-fashioned beating. All right. Next question comes to us from Brad Thomas Jr., and he wants to know, somebody has the answer, but clearly we can address this on the show so the podcast listeners can know the answer. What is the difference between paintball gun oil and grease? I want to get back into playing later this year and figure I should lubricate my marker since it has been a long while, but I'm not sure what I should be using. So he does have a Tipman crossover, but what's the difference between oil and grease?
Oil is...
he's drinking. So.
Oh, yeah, talking to you.
Yeah.
Tried to bust him, but anyway, go ahead, Joe.
Oil is lower viscosity than grease. Grease is much thicker, and it can often be used on O-rings or on different steels to form a tighter seal from the air leaks, whereas oil just typically lubricates things.
Yeah, I always think of lube is for like low pressure guns, like the grease rather is for low pressure guns, and anything like high pressure, the gun oil you're a little better on. I wouldn't use gun oil on anything that runs low pressure. Basically, if it has a battery, you probably want to stay away from gun oil. But check your owner's manual and don't take advice from these idiots, me included.
If he's got a Tippmann crossover, when you get out to the field, drop a couple of drops of oil right in your marker itself, and then screw your tank on, give it a few shots, and that should work the oil through it, and you should be good to go.
Wow.
Oh, into the ASA,
Yeah. Them some good advice.
Just not the tank. The ASA on the gun, not the tank.
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't put oil in the tank.
No.
All right, next question comes to us from Brooke Hunt, who is in Ontario, Canada, and wants to know, when can I play paintball again?
That's a good one, Brooke. The restrictions are being lifted, in the province. It was announced today, so you'll probably see some paintball maybe in the northern regions of Ontario, probably sooner than later. Southern Ontario might be a different thing, and each field right now, depending on what their public health dictates, is sort of where we are now. So there really are no fields that. Most of the fields right now are in different public health regions. So, one field may open in one spot, but other fields may not open it. It's all dictated by the local public health. So we're following things quite closely. So we'll do our best. But watch Instagram and social media and stuff like that. But we'll get you a fix.
Plus, where we are, there's a foot of snow on the ground, and it's freezing outside. What was it today?
It's actually below freezing, Todd.
Yes, but what does it feel like today? Minus 21 or something? It felt like, apparently, according to the weather.
Minus 8,000.
It was colder than a witch's tit.
It was minus 10, feels like minus 20, it said.
Yes.
And Joe, I actually had to warm myself. I had to warm myself up on a witch's tit. Like, it was that cold.
It was that cold. That's nice.
Yeah.
What? Okay. I have breaking news from Matt Watts, who knows considerably more about paintball than myself, who clearly says Tippmann crossover is to be lubed, not oiled. So don't put oil in your crossover.
There you go. And if you have done it already, then just blame Josh. It's fine.
And dear God, you just lost your spot in the show, Josh.
Yeah.
Next week we welcome Matt.
He's not nearly as bitter as I am, so I don't know what you guys.
It's nice to see Matt watching. He was making some nice comments in the forum earlier, in the Facebook forum, as well.
Which leads me to believe he's drunk.
No, he's sober. Kathy Tank Girl Wilson from somewhere in America wants to know. Hell, I just want to know when I can get back into Canada. I don't know when the borders are. I don't know when the borders are going to open up. I'm not sure.
Borders open now if you fly in.
I'm thinking, it's going to have to do a lot with the vaccine rollout on both sides of the border, right? So
yeah.
We desperately want to see our friends. We definitely want to travel, play some events, attend some conferences and stuff like that. I want to go to
Target. I need a new pair of jeans.
I want to go to Gus's, so even
Costco, like everybody else does.
Yeah, but if, you know what? So when can you come back to Canada?
Yes.
Don't know. When can we go to the States? Don't know. Let's just hope everyone stays healthy. Wash your damn hands. Wear a mask if you can. Definitely physical distance, and we'll get back to the regular world as we know it. Hopefully soon.
Joe, after what you've been watching with the Yellowstone, I'm surprised you're not going to buy Carhartts.
Maybe.
Do you know how expensive Carhartt stuff is?
They are very expensive. We looked at it.
No, you don't. It's inexpensive. It's worth it.
Yeah. Gavin, how many more questions do you have?
I have a lot in my sack. It hasn't been emptied yet. Can I get to a couple, and then maybe we can move on and go back to it, if that's okay?
Yeah, it's your segment.
So the first one's a quick one, and this is directly to you, Todd, and it comes from Coast to Coast Paintball Canada. Todd, you should dye your hair pink this year.
Yeah. You know what?
We've been to a couple of games where we used pink fill, and Todd did leave the field with pink hair.
Yeah, unfortunately that happens. I would dye my hair any color if this COVID would be over. If someone said to me, if you dyed your hair today, COVID's over tomorrow, I would do it in a second. I don't even care what color it would be. I'm so done with this nonsense. Yeah.
All right, and last one before we maybe temporarily cinch up the sack. Comes to us from Fergie PB, and he wants to know what is the best and worst paintball mask. Let's go around the horn. Joe, best, then worst.
What era? Currently? I guess. Probably the EVS right now is probably the best, or the Spectra are probably the best, and I don't know what the worst one is. I think the best, if it fits your head and it's ASTM and ANSI approved, then wear it for paintball. Don't buy something from Amazon that says paintball and airsoft approved, because it's not. So if it fits and it's comfortable and you can play paintball and it's a properly approved mask, then I would say it's fine. In my opinion, I think the EVS or the Spectra.
Matt Watts says his favorite is the Leader Z.
Oh, Matt.
I would have to say my favorite is still the JT Spectra. If I could only choose one, that would be it. Second maybe would be the grills. I do like the grills. And the worst, as Joe said, is anything that you buy on Wish or Alibaba or Amazon. Any of those places. Absolutely.
Joshua, best.
My absolute favorite is the Flex 8. Just the way it perfectly fits me in my gigantic head. I love that. The worst mask I've ever actually tried on my face was the Angel Eyes.
Yeah,
They were not designed to sit on a human face.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
See,
Matt can answer that too.
Yeah. Unlucky Canadian says dye i5s. I find that any of the dye goggles are just too small. Like if you've got a smaller face, maybe, but I just not a. Yeah.
So for me, the E-Flex, similar to the Spectra platform, but the better the lens system. And the worst, save face.
Yeah.
Anything save face, you just beat it.
Ryan McGee said worst.
The irony of that,
These aren't even approved. They don't have any rating for paintball or airsoft. So.
Yeah. And sorry, what did you say your favorite one was, Gavin?
It's like the E-Flex, isn't it?
E-Flex,
like the,
yeah.
Isn't that a song? E-Flex, flex.
La 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 la. Yeah.
Is a lonely child waiting by the... Yeah, anyways.
I thought I made it very clear at the start of the show. You need to stop singing.
Oh, sorry. We didn't.
Yeah.
We thought there was a part that we were allowed to sing.
Yeah. Apparently not, according to Josh. Hey, can I tell you guys about something real quick? Planet Eclipse. Did you know that they have more championships, they have new mechanical markers, new electronic markers, new territory, including the new MagFed division. Get Planet Eclipse and take on the world, guys. Check them out at your local retailer.
When the world's greatest players, photographers, and expected parents need the best coverage, most vivid colors, biggest selection, they pull a tab on an EG product. #PopSmoke.
Thick welded seam, stainless steel hardware, multiple color options makes Air Ups the #1 choice for inflatables on and off the field. Made in America by Brent Davis and his crew. AirUps.com.
Dreams fade, ruthless paintball products, color sublimation, and craftsmanship never die. On or off the field, Ruthless keeps you fresh. Use the promo code BTB15 for 15% off your order.
Adapt, create, and win. Exalt is in our blood, and in fact, it is our blood type. So make your game boil. Get Exalt, which is available worldwide.
From the beginning, you'd stumble down a rocky cliff or waded chest deep through a mosquito-infested bog. But whether you're sliding into the snake or running and gunning, GI Sports has the gear for you now at the Stormer, Stormer Elite, and Stormer Tactical.
DLX Technologies, guys, true industry innovators with some of the lightest, fastest, and sleekest hardware in paintball. DLX has the power to get to the podium, and that's where you want to be. Shout out to Marcello. Paintball Gun Tac Costa says, Planet Eclipse rules. Yes, sir, and thank you to them for being a sponsor of our show. Richie Rampage Santos is tagging GI and Tipman right now as well. Go ahead, guys, tag any of our sponsors. We really appreciate it. If it wasn't for the sponsors, we would not be here. And speaking of our sponsors and what we just said, Joe, you might need to explain this. Every week we say it, and it just dawned on me today that people may not know that. Why, when we talk about smoke grenades, do you talk about expecting parents? I know you and I know the answer to that, but
many parents have, are using smoke grenades. EG makes a whole line of smoke grenades and gender reveal products that expected parents and families use for lighting off to pull their smoke out, and an out billowable blue or pink or a non type of colored smoke might billow out as well. So that's what people use for gender reveals or photography or whatever. They're smoke. The EG smoke products are not just for paintball or airsoft. There is a myriad of uses.
Yeah,
just not in the mall.
Not in the mall. These are
I learned that the hard way.
I learned that the hard way. Yep. Well-ventilated spaces, yes.
Eric Parks in the live chat says, hey, Todd, how do I get a hoodie like Josh Zuby Zubrickus is wearing? You don't get one, Eric. You earn one. Maybe come spring, Joe and I were already talking before the show, we may do a reorder of all of the hoodies that you see with the tiger stripe and with the woodland and the one Joe's wearing with the black. We might do a reorder of those in the spring, but what we're going to do is we'll ask you guys to join the reorder if anybody wants to order at that time, and we can do those. You guys can pick your size, pick your color, and we'll have them shipped right to you guys.
And if you don't want a behind the bunker one, you can get a flag raider one.
Or a Terror Tech Industry. Your choice.
I was going to say, way to take the wind out of the sail there. But no, that's fine. We can certainly do that, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So what we're going to do, this is your time to shine. If you guys are watching at home, we're going to watch your comments in the live chat because we want to hear from you. Tonight's topic is, what is the worst thing that happened to you at a paintball field? And we're going to read your comments on the YouTube and on the Facebook comments. So hopefully you guys can come up with some and put them in there. The other thing, before we get to some of the comments that you guys have sent in through our social media platforms, I want to say thank you to all 80 of you guys who so far shared the show. Thank you so much for doing so, and I see a lot of you guys have commented on the show as well. Sorry we're not getting to a lot of your comments. It's moving pretty quickly on YouTube, or sorry, on Facebook. But yeah, I would appreciate you guys hitting that like and share button. It means a lot for me. It means a lot to the guys doing the show, and it means a lot to our sponsors. So thank you so much. So, what was the worst thing that happened to you at a paintball field? Josh, you've got a couple sheets. Maybe we'll start with you in a moment. Yeah, and I like what you George Hay asked, how do I earn a hoodie? And Gavin, good comment. Stop wearing your jeggings. Oh, poor George Hay. All right, Josh.
All right. So let me get this out of the gate at the beginning here. If the worst thing that's happened to you on the paintball field is you got shot in the nuts, you have been playing paintball long ago. Okay? Jonathan Waring, tops my list right here, with 2014 suffered a massive heart attack from tearing my right coronary artery, coded twice in a 4-hour operation, but a heart surgeon called Dr. Gunn, 16 weeks rehab, and he's all good.
Why would you start with that?
That's phenomenal.
Like, why would you start with that? Everything else is
I was going to say how I pulled a hammy.
Because I just wanted to say to everybody else who goes, oh, my worst experience was getting shot in the wee-wee. Go take a hike.
Josh, you suck. You just ruined this whole topic.
My hamstring really did hurt, though.
Yeah. Crystal Patterson says shot in the boob is the worst feeling ever, but I'm sure guys have gotten it worse. Yeah, Jonathan got a heart attack. So there you go. My next one up is I'm going to call him out for John Amoda. Okay, listen, John. He says flew to Australia, didn't come back without the first place trophy. Listen, you little whiner. Let me tell you something right out of the gate right here. You left Australia with your life in your hands. You won. Stop complaining about trophies. Everything in Australia, including all the Australians, are trying to kill you. So why would you worry about a first place trophy?
Just a production note. Can we not start with Josh next time?
You may, maybe. I am going to say that Matthew Maverick Watts in the live chat has just ruined himself. He basically said 32 years of playing, never got shot in the nuts. Guess where he's getting shot next time he steps on a paintball field?
Yeah.
Guess who's aiming for it? Sorry, I got one last one.
Yeah.
From top fan of the show, Bobby Douse. This one hurts the most, but it's a different kind of pain. This is I bought a Stingray once.
Elliot Darnou in the live chat says, I was being caught talking about behind the bunker. Oh, that's not very nice.
That's a different kind of pain, too.
Jared said, I got hypothermia last year in September. Oh, boy.
Where were you playing?
Yeah. Joe, what about you? What do you have on your sheets there?
Charles White, in the early days, I got shot in the head with a frozen paintball, dropped me to my knees. Let's see who else.
Bullshit.
Speaking of dropping to your knees, let's welcome Daniel Barney Alamo to the show.
Very nice.
Hi, Barney.
He's a
And
knee
then-
dropper.
Billy Jack Meaford, as a photographer, is in the middle of a game shooting, took a shot in the junk, kept shooting but moving slowly. Not 5 minutes later, squatting down to get a series of shots, he got hit in the back of the junk container and it nearly killed him. I guess that would hurt because most of the time you get hit straight on in that, but otherwise he got shot from the back. Let's see what else. Russell Johnson tore a tendon in my leg or got shot in the neck from a 3 foot away teammate. Gerald Skibu tossed up between taking a hit in the side of the neck from 4 feet away or breaking his collarbone. So there you go.
Connor in the live chat says, hey, Australia isn't all that bad. Vegemite will save you from anything down here that's trying to kill you.
That's right, mate. I have it almost every day.
That's why we
Toast.
have. That's why we have
Yeah.
a tube in the studio.
There's 2 in the studio, and I have a jar number 2, and this stuff.
It's
that
actually-
stuff lasts forever.
Some people get
Ever.
the standard EpiPen when they're allergic to someone. Gavin's got a special one. It's just got Vegemite in it.
Hey,
I'm going down happy.
Mike Grizzly Grub in the live chat says, discovering Thistlethorn in New York. Yeah, that'll give you a bad day. Bab Spisser says, had a competitor die during a tournament and a friend had a seizure the same tournament. Maybe you should stay away from that series, Bob. Oh, boy.
That's true.
I had to mute myself. I wasn't laughing.
Oh, that's true.
Lamar Lopez says, fire ants mounds back in a Woodballs day. So he got peppered with ants and paint, and clearly this is an inside story because James Christopher said, how about the dead cow? Dead cow equals a bunker.
Did anyone have that part?
If it's a dead cow and it still works, is it still a bunker? Yep.
Todd, do you have comments from Instagram or no?
I printed them off. You guys should have them. All the sheets that I have, you guys have. Who has the one?
Alan Gilniak was talking about surrendering someone, and the kid turned around and shot him. That's not a good time at all.
Well, while we're looking through the sheets, let's start with you guys. Gavin, tell me
I
about...
found the one I wanted to read.
Yep.
This is off Instagram from Parker Kimpson. Got shot in the back of
He's
the head
Meg-fed.
by my dad while we were in the tiger cages. He said river cages, but I know what he meant. We were playing on a Tuesday night when he was just really in his first or second game of paintball. We were down in the tiger cages, and we were walking down a path towards the POW camp, and a guy came out and just started overshooting like crazy. So in an effort to defend my child and shoot the guy repeatedly, I hit Parker in the head first, and I told him to lay on the ground. And then the situation was alleviated, but he did get christened under fire by the headshot.
So another bad dad moment. Mike Riley says he took out another player with about 3 or 4 shots and realized it was his daughter. Felt super bad. But she said after the game, it's all good, Dad. Always play to win, right? With tears in her eyes.
Had a girl.
She clearly had it coming.
Oh boy. Daniel Barney Alamo says shooting over a down tree and was over a beehive, got about 15 stings, and at first I thought I was being overshot. Yeah, that'll give you a bad
Yeah, I can
day.
see that.
Yeah, that's one of the ways we remove wasps' nests at the field is by just taking out a paintball gun. You just have to make sure that you're far enough away and you cover it with paint fast
And
enough.
you're a good sprinter.
Yeah.
They get mad. You do it early in the morning or later in the evening at sunset, and you have a reasonable opportunity to eliminate them with extreme prejudice.
If you wait,
And that's not a mission I can participate in.
if
No,
you
that's
wait
true.
till
That's
Gavin
the
is reffing on that field, then you sneak in, get the wasps, and run. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for wishing me dead, Todd.
Best friend of the show, Seb, says the hearse that used to be by the drug lab at the middle Flagrators field, full of bees, as usual. So,
Oh, nice. Sorry. I'll tell you. I'll tell you guys later. Something just came through on the email
oh, good.
that I've been
An
waiting
inside
for.
joke. Awesome.
No, not an inside joke. Something I've been waiting for 6 months.
Oh.
I just got the invite to join Starlink, but it expires in 15 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was an Amazon package.
No.
So Todd's
Shoot.
going to end the
Your
show
real
now.
doll you ordered.
Should we just talk about them amongst ourselves
Yeah,
while you
maybe.
answer your junk email?
Yep. Go ahead.
And Todd Abraham says he tore his Achilles tendon 10 minutes into the first game. Surgery, 8 weeks in a cast before he could walk on it again. Took
Tommy
a good year
Guns
to
had
feel
it.
right again.
Tommy Guns had a good one. One time I got stung by one of Andy Fortune's trolling comments.
Oh,
That's a
Gavin,
good-
what
that's a
was
good one.
your worst one?
I can't even remember. Every day is a wonderful experience out there, except when you're having some medical concerns, right? So, heat exhaustion is always it creeps into my day and it ruins it. But I've been really, really fortunate that things haven't been horrible for me. So, some days I pout because I suck ass. Other days, it's still a good day, right? It's not a day in the office. Any day playing paintball is fantastic.
Any
With the
day that
exception of
has-
with the exception of some of these people who have had some pretty serious concerns, I've been really fortunate, really lucky. So, how about you,
That's good.
Josh?
Worst one was actually getting shot from not too far. I'm not entirely sure how far the person was, but I got shot directly on the tip of the pinky finger, and it caused the nail to swell up. So for about a week, I was taking a little drill bit and draining the pressure, and then finally, about 2 weeks later, it actually kind of festered and fell off. So it was like
What
it
is
was
wrong with you, Josh? Like, you always
it
go
was
with the worst. You
was
started
the
with the
welt-
worst scenario and even talking about you draining your appendages. That's come on.
It was the welt that just kept giving for 2 weeks. You get shot in the nuts, and it's like, okay, an hour later you're up and running again, right, so to speak. But yeah, that one took the cake for quite a while.
Gavin and I have been involved in a couple of situations at the field as far as, medical concerns. So,
Oh yeah, that
those
was
are-
the worst day ever.
yeah, those are times that you're thinking, phew. But I don't know what mine is. I guess a couple times you've been shot and you get like a shot in the head or something, and you just get your bell rung, or last year seemed to be this season of getting shot in the frontal areas a couple times, and that's painful, but you have to grin and bear it, for lack of a better term, and carry on. But all days at paintball end at the Moose, so it doesn't really matter. So any day is a good day, like Gavin said.
Moose makes everything feel better.
This is true.
Now, Joe, you've got a pretty unique experience compared to everybody else. If you you own and run a field, right?
yes.
Is there anything that stands out as a field owner that was terrible that we wouldn't necessarily see as players?
Just what you hinted at.
Just what I alluded
Besides owning a paintball field.
That's probably the worst. We've had a couple good breaks, and you don't like to talk about that at a paintball field because it's kind of like wind, rain, things that you don't want to talk about because it's all karma, not sharma. It's all karma related, so we don't talk about them. But we've had a couple, good breaks where people have just turned and maybe they weren't wearing the proper footwear, and we always caution people to please do up your shoes. Don't come wearing skate shoes or anything like that. Wear sturdy footwear, if you will. But we had a guy break his leg, twist his ankle, and we had some duct tape with us, and we used a couple sniper barrels and made splints for the fellow and got him off the field. But you try to, lots of things can happen at any kind of event, not necessarily paintball field.
So some of the things I think someone alluded to one earlier. Some of the things I think that are the worst thing that happens in paintball is people are spreading stories like the frozen paintballs.
Right.
People like to, somebody's shooting frozen paintballs. It's not physically possible unless you're carrying around like liquid nitrogen to freeze paint, right?
Right.
So I find that stories like that probably hurt paintball more than anything else, but except for actual playing and getting bruises and stuff.
It takes an awful lot.
Stupid stuff like that is terrible.
Cold weather, cold temperatures to freeze a paintball, and a winter formula paintball. I don't think you can freeze it because of the fill. A winter formula paintball does have some oils or oil-based like substances in it, and I don't think you can freeze them. And
there's plenty of videos out there too where people take just regular paintballs, put them in the freezer for 48 hours, put a gun, shoot it, and it breaks.
Yeah, it's not making
it just doesn't freeze, right? Yeah. I think what a lot of people are thinking about is when paint gets warm and then they're shooting out in the sun, that's generally when people go, someone's shooting frozen paintball. It's like, no, it's rubbery, it's hard, you have heat exhaustion, you get shot in the dome, and of course it hurts a little bit more than usual. So I think
these people that are driving around with paint in their cars, in their trunks, then they climatize it, take it out, use it, it gets hot again, climatize it, or it gets wet, and then it contracts back. Those and people using old paint, those are the most dangerous people. Is an old paintball, that's past its prime, can get quite hard. Either that or it gets very brittle and just breaks on impact. But you can get some pretty old paint.
Brittle is good.
Brittle is good, but
yeah,
some of this hard stuff is just
too brittle. Just ends up breaking in markers and stuff too.
Yeah.
I've gone to events where paint wasn't stored properly overnight. It was actually stored in very cold weather. So the next day we got up, we were playing. I mean, I was trying to put paint through an axe. It was breaking constantly. I actually ended up going with a pump halfway through the day, and even then, it was whatever 10 shots it was cleaning it out until the paint actually sat out in the sun long enough to kind of warm up and get a little better. We woke up in the morning, man, that paint was brittle. It was a good 2.5 to 3 hours of playing with this awful paint. Nobody was having a good time at all. And that's only because paint was cold, not even frozen.
Tommy Gunn said can get quite hard. Ding. So there you go, Tommy.
I'm curious how many of our fans at home have their own bells. They ding along.
Bill Shribner.
There's some watchers from the North Pole that
says Cal Mag. Now, I put a post up on Flag Raiders about the Cal Mag boxes, and I did a little thing. Then I shared it to old school paintball. We shot Cal Mag for several years consistently, and whether it was our distribution or our supply line, but the Cal Mag we shot, it would fly through the guns, it would fly through leaves and stuff, and it would hit people and break. We had tremendous luck with Cal Mag, and in its heyday, it was really good paint. Now, whether some of these guys that had bad experiences with Cal Mag, that it was rock hard and stuff, whether it was old paint or something, but the Cal Mag that we at Flag Raiders shot in the heyday, it was truly fantastic paint. I would compare Cal Mag to All Star back in the day, as well as the packaging was cool. But that
really All Star,
yeah, man. That solar pink that we were shooting for so long was fantastic. Yes, it was vivid and it maybe left some stains, but for the most part, it washed out. It sure beat the hell out of shooting Nelson oil-based paint at yourselves.
There was a game that we played at the middle field, the one on Kasuth,
yes,
where we had All-Star with the clear shell and the bright yellow fill.
And the black stars.
And the black stars on it. That was one of the games I remember the absolute most, at like beginning battles and stuff. It looked like the whole sky just kind of went yellow.
Yeah.
And all day long you could see this yellow zipping paint all over the place. Oh, it was a riot. I was having a lot of fun. That stuff broke really, really well too.
That All-Star was really in today's world close to a 4-star or a super premium or that paint was really quite fantastic.
It was amazing.
The All-Star, the All-Star made in Florida was just perfect.
So Bob Spisser and Matt Watts in the chat are talking about the black shell yellow fill or black shell green fill. I never liked a dark shell, black or dark, because it was so hard to track, both on the shooting and the receiving end. So you're shooting a lot of paint, and it was hard for me to adjust. So
maybe we should go back to a dark shell ball. Maybe we should get dark shell balls, and people can't track them; they'll shoot more.
I like how
and then we should fill them with clear fill so that it didn't hit me.
I like how as soon as Gavin says I don't like it, Joe's like, we should bring that back.
Like, oh, you know what? It's been a slow year, right? Because most fields are shut down, so let's increase some of the revenue by just a black shell clear fill, right?
It's like,
it was a bounce.
Gavin has a valid reason. Let's ruin it. Todd, are you back from your Skynet?
I am, but I was just thinking we should probably end the show for the guys watching on Facebook, but we also have a vault segment, but I kind of don't want to bury it at the end of the show, Joe. Should we play it today, or should we...
I'll do another one. Just do it.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's play... Here's
Quick
what we're going to do then. Let's
afterwards.
play Joe's vault segment, and we'll be right back because there's still more to get to.
Hey, it's Joe with Fighters Paintball here with another segment of From the Vault, where we go back in history, back into the early days of paintball. This week is no different. Last week we talked about my second generation PGP pistol. When I was rooting around looking for that, I found this. This is the rig that I would use to carry it. Standard GI pistol belt with a quick release. Back in the early days before plate carriers were invented, the whole Alice system left over from Vietnam and other battles were used to carry your paintballs. This would carry 8 10-round tubes, and we have some probably leftover two-tone green RP Shearer paint. It's kind of cool, and they would fit nicely in there. So you could carry about 100 paintballs. So your 12 grams didn't jingle around in your pocket. I found this Eagle Industries shotgun holder, so it would hold about 12 shotgun rounds, but it also held my 12 grams pretty much perfectly. And then I found I somehow managed to track down, don't forget this is going back before Action Pursuit games, or maybe around when Action Pursuit games started around 1987. I found this really cool holster made by Clumass Products in Tempe, Arizona. It was for the PGP. It would fit in, Velcro. You could carry a 10-round tube in front with your paint all mashed up, and there was a little pocket for an auxiliary 12 gram, and this was a drop down style, so you could put it around your thigh and run around. Don't forget, this is long before Condor was invented. You had Eagle Industries making super high performance stuff for the military and law enforcement, but otherwise you're using Army surplus found at your local surplus store. You've been watching From the Vault on Behind the Bunker. See you next time. Pew pew.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
So that was one of my first load carrying things. I had a couple Alice packs rigged up. What?
Thank you.
I had a couple Alice systems rigged up with M16 pouches, and I'll show that. So they had the shoulder strap and the H harness, because that was very Vietnam-y at the time. And quite frankly, vest didn't come along till we got into the Eagle vests, probably in the early 91, 92. But before that, everyone was using M16 rounds and M16 mag pouches, stuff left over from Vietnam. So it was pretty cool. That holster I found, I'm pretty sure I found it out of an APG, and I sent a money order to some guy in Arizona, and he was probably making them in his garage, and he sent it up to me. So it was kind of neat. A neat little holster that I dug out, and it had some paint in it. That was old RP Shearer, green breaks yellow. Super old stuff, probably 25 or 30 years old. So there you go.
And sorry about all the dinging. That was brilliant.
There was some dinging, yes.
And Connor Mader Bryant, our friend from Australia, wants to know what's going on with the bells. So I think he's fairly new to the show. So does somebody want to explain that to him?
Gavin, why don't you talk about
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I'm not going to
just
explain it.
sit
I'm
back.
just going to say what caused us to hit the bell when Joe said it. Basically says Joe said that he remembers that was his first load, and at that point, whatever happened afterwards, it didn't matter. That was the
device.
bell. Yeah.
But
So
I
when
do
we
like
say
I
something
do
that-
like the hinting at it, and so let's not explain it. So you just have to tune in each week and try to figure it out.
Figure it out.
Follow the breadcrumbs, my friend. Follow the Vegemite breadcrumbs.
Yes, the Vegemite.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's what's going to happen. If you guys are watching us on Facebook, we're going to say farewell to you. If you're watching us on YouTube Live right now, stay tuned. It looks like we're going to end the show, but we're not. We're going to stay live for you, and we're going to stay live for all of you guys listening at home on the podcast. So why don't we say farewell to you guys on Facebook? But before we do so, make sure you hit that like and share this to any of your friends or your paintball groups that you belong to. Help us spread the word that we are live every Monday night, and there is a paintball show out there for all of you to watch. Thank you to Joe for being on the show.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. And Maverick Watts, I do have an IDEMA Combat Systems vest. It's designed for the SMG 60 to carry the little stripper clips. So I do have a black one in my inventory, if you will. There you go. I'll turn it over to whoever's next. Thanks for watching. Pew pew.
What about Josh? Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me again this week, and thank you to everyone who liked and shared the show. As always, it makes a big difference, and would like to remind you to help control the local airsofter population. Have your local airsofters spayed.
Oh, that's not very nice. And thank you to Gavin Sharma.
Again, always wonderful to be here, folks, and it is so great to see brand new names in the chat forums as well. So that is why it's so important that you like and share the show so that other people in your worlds can join us here and every Monday night on Behind the Bunker. Thanks for tuning in, and slide over to YouTube right now because we have the after show starting shortly.
Yeah.
Pew.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week, and if you're watching us on YouTube, we'll talk to you in just a moment.
Don't be a freeloader. If you liked what you hear, make sure to hit the share button below. Also follow us on our social media outlets like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, ICQ, and now MySpace. If you want to join the conversation, post your comments and we might read them on the show.
All right, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our after show / podcast for all of you guys that are still watching us on YouTube or listening to us in our podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. It's nice to have you here. Seeing a lot of you guys coming over from Facebook over to YouTube. By the way, Bob, make sure you check your Facebook Messenger. I sent you a couple messages. I think I've got it secured, but I'm not sure. I'm still working on it.
They're called love notes.
Love notes, yes.
Yeah.
I made Bob one of those things where you, what are those called? Where you
From
fold
grade
them?
6.
What's your favorite color? Blue.
Do you like him?
Yeah. How many kids is Gavin going to have? Yeah.
35.
35.
And my spouse will be Jeff.
Oh.
Hefe.
Nice. I don't know how many children Hefe is going to bear for you, but
I would be good to you.
That's
Oh my
nice.
God, we just lost everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that's the after show. Good night.
Yeah. What's on your mind, Facebook or YouTube rather? What's on your mind? Lots of things happening in paintball. Not so much. Paintball extravaganza. We'd be all gearing up to be going there in the next couple of weeks, but as we all know, that's not happening right now.
Yeah, that would be next week.
And that would have been in
Potentially, yeah.
Dallas, potentially.
Dulles.
Dallas.
Fellas.
Well, we
At the airport.
we've flown into Dulles many a times to do paintball extravaganza. This would have been the real Dallas. That would have been exciting.
It
I
would
don't
have
mind.
been cool.
I don't mind flying into Dulles so long as we're headed to the Xerox Center.
Yeah, it'll never happen again, unfortunately.
I know.
So are you guys feeling optimistic then about the season? Are
No.
you feeling like we are going to be a little bit better than last year? I know many fields, at least in Canada, were shut down due to regulations, but I think we're getting close. We're getting close to
I certainly
having
hope
full
so.
seasons again, right? So normally our season begins in March because we have the snows. But I'm thinking that it's going to be a good year, and people are chomping at the bit to get out and play with their Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah gear, right? So what are you guys thinking? What are you guys feeling? How about you, like individually? So as an industry, do you think things are going to be great this year? Or at least better than last year? And what about you individually, personally? How are you guys feeling about playing this year?
Todd?
I don't know. It's such a weird. I think this is going to be a solid season. I think people need to. I think people are going as soon as this kind of gets out under control. I think people are going to go look at World Cup. World Cup was able to have an event. Even with half the world frightened and half the world not, they were able to have a large event. There's lots of people that want to play. I think as soon as this sort of passes over, I think this year, hell, we were going to go into an awesome year before the pandemic started. I don't know. I think it's going to happen. I think everybody's just kind of put their life back on pause, and I think that once they're able to open up again, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be a busy season. I know I want to play.
I think because of where we are right now in the middle of winter and just coming out of a shutdown, I think, again, what I said, I think you're going to see it a sort of probably a slow rollout, if you will, about who opens and who doesn't opens. But by mid-season or early season, I think you'll see people getting rolling. What we need now is that everyone be safe, stay put for a few more weeks, and then have a rollout. And I think you'll see some of the northern Ontario fields open probably first. I'm not sure about indoors how that will roll out, but I think it's really up to the local public health. And I'm excited about the season. I think it'll be good. Not only am I excited about being able to open the business and run the business, but I'm excited to see my paintball friends that I haven't really seen much. Normally I see people over the entire winter because we have an indoor, but this is the first year since 2006 Flag Raiders hasn't been running an indoor, thank God. But I'm excited I'm looking forward to seeing my friends that I haven't seen since beginning of November, like Bob Spicer, Matt Watts I see on the internet. George Hay hasn't been up at all because we've been in a pandemic. Normally George visits us two or three times a season. He'll come up and visit us for our events. And I know there's lots of people that want to get up to Flag Raiders and see. And likewise, we want to, get to a few destinations, whether it's this year or next year again. But I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to playing Tuesday nights because it's a fun night to get out and hang out with my friends, play some paintball, dress up, do some cosplay, hoo-yah, that kind of stuff. And that excites me as much as playing paintball is dressing up and pretending I'm a somebody sneaking around some foreign area in search of the bad guy. So it's all imagination, and really your only limitation is your imagination. But that those are some of the things I'm excited for. Am I excited about washing goggles and stuff like that and bagging paint in the hundreds? No, not remotely. But I'm excited to get the paintball world happening again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I miss all the people at all the events.
Absolutely.
So
there was such an upswing and positivity and motivation with Paintball Extravaganza from last year. So do you think the industry needs to get back together, regroup, and do something to collaborate to bring that same energy forward for the 2021 season?
That's kind of what Paintball Extravaganza is about, but
yeah,
I think right now, because this is a global phenomenon, the pandemic is a global thing, I think everyone is so fragmented and there's varying forms of whether people can be open, can't be open. Like some places in the States are still running regardless, and Brazil is still running regardless. But, I think it's tough for everybody. In a normal year, spring rolls around and everybody is on the same page. Let's open. I'm excited to open, but it's tough right now because everybody's, if the pandemic is a book, everybody's at a different chapter. and it's tough to
Ooh, well done.
it's tough to get everybody together and on the same page. Like, we roll out of Christmas and it slows down right after World Cup and everybody sort of takes a little bit of a break. And then you have Paintball Extravaganza, and that sort of opens the book on a new chapter or a new volume of the book. This coming up is going to be volume number 40 of Paintball. This is the 40th
absolutely
anniversary. So this is our 40th.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great analogy.
So to use the phrase that I know Josh loves, can we circle back to that? 40 years of paintball. 40 years of paintball. So what can we do based on whatever regionally, where we are in terms of what restrictions are in place or not in place? How can we really promote the sport? 40 years in the making. How can we make this grand?
I love your initiative, but I think we've lost it. I think with the pandemic, how do you this is something we should have been planning for last year already, pre-promoting it. I think it's done. I think people are just happy to get out. I mean, we can't promote any big game that's coming up in where we are anyways because we don't know when things are going to happen again. There's no sense promoting or putting an event together.
So, okay, let's think small scale then. What is in your control? What is within your wheelhouse that you're able to do to really celebrate 40 years of a sport? Like, we had a great documentary capitalizing on and documenting the history of our sport. And this year is 40 years in June, right? So what are we going to do individually? Like, what is your own commitment to the sport? How are you going to promote it? What are you going to do?
Social media posts.
Like and share.
Have a cake. Wear sturdy footwear to the field. I don't know. Right now we sort of we're kind of coasting. It's like, I've ordered my new book, chapter number 40, but because of the backlog at the distribution warehouse and in the distribution process, I'm waiting for my delivery with the various agencies delivering my parcel.
Joe's been tracking it, but the tracking number hasn't changed. He keeps hitting refresh.
It's still keep hitting refresh. So I think until we sort of have an idea, then we can, plan something. I think we all together pulled out the 2020 season pretty fantastically once we were given a go ahead. So I think we kind of just wait and coast and sort of plan, and there's not a whole lot of planning we can do right now because we don't know when and how it's all going to unravel.
What do you think, Josh? Where are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Personally, I think we're screwed for another summer. I think we're going to be on lockdown for another year. I don't think things are looking all that great, and to be honest with you, it really, really sucks. I'd love nothing more to be out with all our paintball friends, out and playing and just having a good old time in some sunshine, but I don't see it happening, and it sucks.
Dojo 42 says, sorry to Gavin, Dojo 42 said Sunday, June 27th makes 40 years of paintball. So if that's right, as Josh says, I don't know if where we are in Ontario, Canada, if we're going to be playing in big numbers by that point.
Right. But what
I'm not trying to put a wet blanket on, sorry.
No, the bigger picture, right? So clearly it can't be the whole festival type thing, at least in our area and for a little while, right? So that's the collective effort. So what can you do as an individual, though, to promote the sport and let people know what you love to do and why we're here on a Monday night and why we spend thousands of dollars on this hobby / lifestyle, right? So what can you do to bring somebody else in and share your joy for the sport, right? And so that can be done on a small scale. It can also be done on a large scale, but that we may be limited based on regional policies and protocols. But what can you do? And start thinking about that. What are you going to do?
That's kind of the spirit that we find ourselves with Paint Fest. Is it's the unofficial opening of the season, usually the last Sunday in April, and we do free entry, free rentals, and we encourage an equipment owner to bring out a brand new player or someone from work that says, oh yeah, let's go play paintball. Or bring a friend that's hasn't played for 10 years and get that love reinvigorated. I think that's really what we have to take. Everybody has to take the initiative, take the helm, and bring someone out or two people out to play paintball. It doesn't have to be in April at the beginning of the season. It can be any time. But as long as people take that initiative to bring a new person out or tell a new person, and yes, all of our friends and all of our families get tired of listening to us get up on our soapbox or whatever and tell people how great paintball is. But you know what? I hear a lot about how great hockey is, and you know what? People can listen to how great paintball is, or it's something like that. So I think it's just it has to everybody. It has to come from everybody. It can't just be the same 25 people bringing the same different friends out every time. Everybody has to take the initiative. And if some of these guys on these chat forums, instead of complaining or whatever, just if everybody brought a person to play paintball and put that energy, instead of replying to a text or something or a post on a forum about something negative, funnel that into positivity. Positivity, man, and bring them out. I sound like Dennis Hopper in Apocalypse Now. Man, if everyone just brought those guys out and play, or girls, or anybody, come out and play paintball.
So instead of bringing people out too, because if you've exhausted your list of resources of people you can bring out, how can you enhance the experience of somebody who's brand new for that day? And it could be simply as a pot of paint, right? You have an extra pod, you can top up their hopper, anything that's going to help them enjoy their full experience, right? It's not about just shooting people, it's about growing the sport. And it's 40 years, so how can you give back to the sport that's given so much to you? So I want you to reflect on that. I want you to think about that. And
that'd be a good topic question for next week. What can you do to help promote the sport? What can you do, and what do you do to help promote the sport? That'd be an interesting
on a weekly basis or daily basis. So what are you doing? Yes, I love it. Yeah. What are you doing to give back? Yeah. To give back.
Bobby Doust in the YouTube chat says this is idea time. So Gavin's got mail time, and now we've got idea time. Now we need a new theme song, though. Yeah, but you guys...
It won't be out of the sack, though. It might be I'll pull it out of a crumpled envelope in my pocket or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Pull it out of the unicorn.
There you go.
I have to go soon because it's Monday night, it's garbage night, and my friend is chomping at the bit to shoot things. Oh, here he comes.
Nice. Josh, any final thoughts, sir?
No. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think Josh's point too about like how fast we're going to come out of this. I think he's got a point there, and I don't want to acknowledge it, but I think he's got a point. Well,
you know what? I'd love to be all sunshine and roses about this, but you listen to them saying, and they're like, "Todd, you got your vaccine. What's the first thing they tell you? Continue to wear your mask."
Yeah, I can still transfer.
Continue to wear your mask. No one has talked about when we're going to unlock, when we can get that no one's out there and said like, look, when we get 80% of the population, with the immunization, then we can open stuff back up. No one's saying that.
Yeah.
No one at all. So if there's no end in sight and no one's giving us hope, then what do we got?
But what
grammar.
Are you? Yes. But what are you in control of?
Terrible grammar.
What are you in control of?
Yeah.
You can't look at the big picture, but what can you do?
He can make sure he wears that tiger stripe hoodie because he looks sexy in it. So.
That's pretty damn nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to bring too many people to the yard. I think
tiger stripe brings all the boys to the yard.
Yeah, who needs milkshakes when you got Josh and a tiger stripe hoodie?
Yeah. According to the pandemic, you are no longer to have all the boys in the yard. You can only have a small group, like 5. Oh, well. All right. Well, why don't we end this? Joe's friend Parker's chomping at the bit. Joe's halfway off his seat.
He's half out of his chair already.
No, I just spun
and he's not even having a lean back.
There was no Jolene. There was no Jolene.
Fully engulfed, in, no pun intended, in watching this.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Gavin. And if you guys enjoyed the show, head on over to anywhere that you get your better podcast from. Download it, and you can listen to the whole thing in its entirety. We're going to go. We'll see you next week. Hello, and welcome to Behind the Bunker. If you like tonight's show, it is turned into a podcast, and you can find hundreds of them at Apple Podcast or through Spotify or any other podcast platform in the known universe. If you want to watch tonight's show, go to YouTube and launch a search. They are all there. We release a new podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. If you want to hit up the show, reach us by email at show@behindthebunker.com, and you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Tonight's podcast was produced by Matt the Crypt. Show's sponsors are Planet Eclipse, Enola Gay, Air Ups,